Hello, everybody. Denise FARQUHARSON coaching here. I hope you're good. It's another day of summer in Rome. And I was sorry, forgive me for my attire. I was outside and doing lots and needed to come back in because it started to rain. And it's time to talk to you. Time to talk to you about day 15, happy or sad connections. Which ones are they going to be? Which ones are you having? Do you have connections, and what are they like in terms of the particular verse that we're going through today? Now remember, Summer in Rome is all about taking scriptures. Romans chapter 12, there are 21 amazing inspirational and motivational verses that can help you survive, thrive, focus, take note of for your personal development. It's going to touch people in very, very different ways. And I'm sure it's going to touch you in a certain way as well. And it's one of those things where you just pick and choose which one is it that you are going to focus on. So for instance, yesterday we talked about actually how to bless and how bless those who curse you and persecute you. And often we don't get persecuted necessarily, but actually people will annoy you. If you're in a corporate space or a business space, some people will annoy you. So I was giving you really some tips about what to consider and who to consider and how to go about dealing with people who annoy you. Deal with people who start things and don't finish. How to deal with people who are negative all the time and how to handle that. And how to deal with those who are sometimes, it's all about me. And how do you cope with that when you are in a team that needs that support and everybody needs to work together, and yet some people just don't pull their weight? So yeah, it's an interesting one yesterday, and I could have gone a little bit deeper. Now today I'm going to cover verse 15, which is why it's day 15. So this one says, "Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep." Okay, let me repeat that. Rejoice with them that do rejoice, and weep with them that weep. Now, the reason why I really like this one, and it took me a while actually to start thinking about how to absolutely nail this one, because there's just so much to it. So I'm going to try my best to stick to the plan of action and some of the notes that I've got for you and some of the things that I want to cover with you as well. So I can see, hi Sandra, how are you doing? Good to see you. Great, welcome. So there are going to be some questions, so be prepared, be ready. And hopefully, can you just let me know, is there a lag? I'm not sure, because there was a lag this morning when I did something on Facebook, and it seems to be a bit of a lag right now as well. So let's see. So when we talk about rejoice with those that rejoice and weep with those that weep, what we're touching on here is an element of empathy. I want you to think about actually rejoicing with someone who, that do rejoice. When somebody is rejoicing, they are excited about something. Something is about to happen. They have made a new decision about life. They have made new choices about their life. They are taking hold of their situation, and they may have experienced something, experienced some type of joy, and you are rejoicing with them and praising God and enjoying having them being happy and stepping into accompanying them on their rejoicing journey, their joy journey, their happy journey. And when you can join in with someone doing that, that's a good sign of empathy. Have you ever done that? Yeah? Have you ever really connected from that perspective? And sometimes I know there may be situations where not everybody, when they are rejoicing or happy or get good news, not everybody always joins in with that and embraces that, and it's a rallying team cry that we are going to celebrate this. And sometimes that type of rejoicing, even in a corporate space, needs work, needs effort. But you can get to that point. It is absolutely possible that you all truly rejoice together. And or there are times, you may weep with them that weep. Now, There will be times when the team doesn't quite get to where it needs to, and it's not quite doing what it needs to. And there will be an impact, there will be consequences. And we sometimes see that when they end up doing a reorganization or a reshuffle of appointments and team leaders and managers and so on. And businesses, you need to do the same as well. There are times when business does not absolutely get nailed at all. And you have to pivot, you have to repurpose, you have to rethink what next. And you may feel as if you are in a weepy state. And when I say it like that, because it feels down, it feels like a failure, it feels as if, I want to be on that high. Doesn't everybody want to be on that high all the time? Surely. But there are times when that cannot happen. Has your team ever been in that situation before where things haven't quite gone to plan? And it's affecting. It does. It definitely affects how the team feels. So let me know there. Have your team or your business ever felt that rejoicing, happy? Yes, we've nailed it. We've achieved the goals. We've made the money, etc., etc. Or you feel as if you're weeping and you have to connect with each other and really help each other get from A to B, because sometimes when you feel like that, it's not helpful. It's not helpful, but you need to come together and make a decision that absolutely, okay, we might be feeling a little bit down. We might be feeling as if we haven't nailed this, but that's okay. We can get up. And it's an empathetic move. It's an empathetic direction. It's an empathetic recognition. And empathy is something that you do 2 R's for. I always refer to it like this. You recognize it and you regulate it. What is your empathy like? And so, for instance, if the person who's super rejoicing about something, you're feeling, I don't know whether I really want to help them rejoice and be happy. Or would you rather swing to the other side where somebody's weeping and you are going towards that side of supporting them? Where do you sit? And so a lot of what we're doing right now is that we need to recognize and we need to regulate our empathy as much as we possibly can. Now, let me just check some of the comments here. I can see some coming through. Hi, everybody. Right. Hi, Emma. Hello, Nettie. Shernette. Lovely to see you. Right. So true empathy creates a deep, trusting relationship in teams. Absolutely. Yes. Have you read my notes? I was going to say that is definitely going to be one of the top benefits, actually, of empathy, especially in teams, is that it definitely creates connection. It creates happy or sad, there is a connection. And that's why I put the title like that. True empathy definitely creates a deep, trusting relationship in teams for sure. You can call on, send an email, make the phone call, whatever it might be, and you know who has got your back. You know that because there has been that recognition of each other and your competencies and the way that you work, the empathy becomes really, really strong, definitely. It's so important to share the good news of others as it boosts morale. Absolutely. Everybody wants to be able to hear a celebration of something good has happened. Absolutely. And that's why companies, even now, especially corporate and business, spend hundreds of pounds still on running awards for their customers or their suppliers, or running competitions where somebody will win something. Because once everybody makes the effort to do and show that empathetic spirit and work together as a team, a lot of companies recognize that that absolutely builds teams, and therefore they provide rewards, whether it's monetary or a plaque or a trophy. It's still really, 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 really popular. Let's have a look further on. So, Emma, good to see you. And Nettie, how are you? So yes, when all is not well, we embrace it. Look at what has not gone quite to plan and create a rejuvenated plan with support. Yes, so that can happen actually when that part of the verse that talks about weep when others are weeping. When we fail, when things don't go to plan, when we don't get the amount of money coming in, when we don't hit the milestones for those projects, all those things matter in terms of rebuilding and boosting everybody to get back to where they should be, for sure. I love empathy. Yes, me too. But don't go towards sympathy. Stay empathetic, not sympathetic. Sympathy does not help anybody. Stay empathetic with compassion and kindness. That's what I always teach my coachees. Be empathetic with compassion and kindness. If you are empathetic and you are sympathetic and start going towards a sympathetic scale, sometimes you lose your logic and become too emotional, and therefore the solution to the reason why that person is in that state, you lose track and you make decisions that aren't quite right. So I always encourage my coachees, stay empathetic with compassion and kindness, so that it helps to, if somebody's in a hole, you don't go in the hole with them. That's not empathy. Empathy is going to the edge of the hole, seeing them down in the hole, throwing the rope down, throwing down some water, keeping them company, and also making sure you've connected to say, hey, come and help me because I need to get my friend out of that hole. And also staying there till it becomes dark, until services turn up to get them out of that hole. That's empathy. And talking to them about you don't have to despair. Things can work out. It will be okay. That's empathy. The sympathy is, oh my goodness, you're in a hole. Let's jump in there with you and I'll sit down and we'll just sit here. And what are you going to do in the hole? Together. All right. So I hope that helps you. I support both sides. Yes. No, you've not read my notes, Sandra. There you go. So a couple of other things that empathy also does. And let me know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how empathetic are you? Or do you think sometimes you go towards the sympathetic side of life with your friends and colleagues and business reps, etc., or even your customers? How much do you become quite sympathetic towards them? Let me know. And if you're watching this on hashtag replay, as ever, and let me know what your thoughts are on that. So it builds team trust, it builds team understanding, because if you are empathetic towards your team's members, you get to understand each other way better than ever before. If you totally ignore it, or if you become sympathetic, that doesn't help build understanding. You're just emotionally trying to support and connect, and you need to just, that's why I always encourage, stay on that empathetic line. It also gives teams a really good, strong comfort zone as well. You begin to start to feel a lot more comfortable with each other when you start to show empathy with each other. And because of that, because I now trust you, oh my gosh, when we sit down together, we can become more innovative and more creative together. If I have no connection with you as a corporate colleague or a business colleague, how do I become creative? Therefore, our conversations will be at that level rather than a deeper level. And so our empathy also helps us become innovative. And what I mean by that is we'll come up with ideas like that. What about that? Could we do that? Could we do that? Have you ever found that if you're really connected with someone, you can sit and write down idea after idea after idea, and it just flows. And you can become creative as well because you've got an emotional, empathetic connection. So you can come up with some creativity and ideas about the future and next steps and projects and how to go forward in a much more powerful and strong way. And so that whole innovation and creativity is really, really, really powerful. One final thing I just want to cover as well then. Sorry, I think you've got some. Hang on. What's Emma saying? Right, sorry. I've missed a couple of comments here. Not really, not right. Empathetic, yes. Sympathetic, no. There needs to be an objectivity to our approach. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, lol, I think I show sympathy. I'm the person who will climb into the hole and make a bad situation fun. Okay, now you know, Emma. Grab hold of the rope, get back out of the hole, and then throw the rope down and help the other person, okay? 8 or 9, there was always room for improvement. Absolutely. So if you told me 11 out of 10, Sandra, I would still say yes, keep going for 12, 13. There's always room for improvement and aiming for excellence, right? Absolutely. So one final thing I want to cover then is for empathy to be strong, that you rejoice with those that rejoice and weep with those that weep, you need to have a good, you need to be vulnerable sometimes. And in order to be vulnerable sometimes, you need to be very, very authentic about who you are. Now, a lot of people aren't that authentic, and maybe I might do this as a separate live, actually. How authentic are you? Authenticity is all about how much you love you. Do you love you and what you have to offer? That helps you to be an authentic person. And therefore, if you are authentic, you then start to become more vulnerable. And vulnerable doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. Vulnerability opens up your empathy state way bigger and stronger than you could ever imagine. Because your vulnerability is when you're there at the top of the hole, looking down, and you're telling the person in the hole, hey, I have been in a hole like that before. I have struggled like what you're struggling with before. I know how it feels. I felt the same way. This is what I've done about it. And that's opening up your vulnerability to the person who's down there. So you're rejoicing with them that rejoice and you're weeping with them that weep, just like verse 15 says. But what you're doing is actually you are embracing being open and vulnerable to them, which you could only do if you're truly, truly authentic. And to be truly, truly authentic, you need to be loving yourself, right? And that's what God said that we should do. Love your neighbor as yourself. I'm opening up a whole can of worms here. I'll do that live another time, okay? About loving yourself, loving your neighbor, therefore being authentic. I will stop there. Okay, let me just double check your comments before I head off now and go to day 16 tomorrow, okay? So 8 or 9, always room for improvement. Thank you, Sandra. I believe I have a creative team because of the empathy within the team. Yeah, that's good. That's good because not everybody in a team is empathetic, but if they are, that is a total team trust, total team understanding. It makes such a difference. So, right, before I go, what's the top thing that you got from what I've talked about today? Is it about rejoicing? Is it about weeping? Is it about empathy? Is it about team understanding? Is it about the pit and the hole? Which one is it? Give me your top thing before I go then that you've got out of this live, because we're now on day 15. There is just so much out of these verses that I could be here forever. So whilst you do that, do you like my top? Hang on, I couldn't resist. I was giving some stuff away to Emma, made to run. Do you like that? I was giving some stuff away to Emma to take down to the tip, and I spotted this T-shirt, and I'm thinking, I bet you that's Alex who's actually thrown that away. So I got into the mood and I thought, hang on a second, maybe I could set a new goal. Maybe I could set a goal that from here on I could start jogging. And that would be my new exercise regime. Because I can't wear something that says made to run and I don't run. So I'm committing to it now on this live that I'm going to start jogging. How's that? Yep. So, yeah, let me know. What have you committed to today? Let's see. Okay, so before I go, let's just have a quick look then. Type away, type away, type away. I believe I have a creative team. Yes. So, Emma, main thing you've got from today is the empathy and the whole. The whole, yes. So the opposite of that would be not sympathy. It's too emotional. Stay logical. Don't go in the hole. Okay? Sandra, empathy and helping someone out of the hole. Absolutely. Don't forget the rope and don't forget good, powerful words. Don't forget guidance, upliftment, rejoicing with them, weeping with them, but stay out of the hole. Okay? Okay. And who? I think I've just missed someone there. Okay, great. All right. I think we're done. Hashtag replay if you're watching this again. Share it if you want to with anybody who you think would benefit from hearing this particular message from day 15. I'll catch you tomorrow for day 16. Great to be with you all. Thanks for joining. Thanks for taking part. And I'm so glad that you got something out of it. Take care. Bye-bye.